Oh, goodness. Right. I'm about to say something and something flew in my mouth.
What?
You got that recorded, right?
Holding the key firmly in my hands. I'm looking forward, I know where I stand. And Mr. City, I have nothing to lose. Now is the right time, I'm making my move. Oh, the lights down. You can't bring me down. Oh, the lights down. You can't bring me down.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of World 101 Podcast. I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder, and joining me for a very special crossover episode of World 101 Podcast is Eddie Milky White B.
Hello, everybody.
And
Well, because I'm dark on the outside, but so suburban and white on the inside. Very
you
Caucasian.
fucking Oreo.
Oreo.
You know what?
Oh,
That is true, but
and from the Secret Friends Unite family, we have Charlie Carden.
Woo! What's
yes,
And Scott Kovatch,
What up?
yes.
which officially makes this the Secret World 101 Podcast Unite.
up, y'all? Does not at all sound dirty or possibly something that will be used as evidence in a sex crimes trial. So it's a hard pass on that.
I plead the fifth to any of this.
Don't you always?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. Yes, everybody, the Secret Friends Unite guys are here with us. They actually surprised me, so I am so ecstatic that they are here. I finally got to see Charlie live and talk to him in person because he is the king of bad movies with his list, and I'll be like, yes, I need to watch that. It's always good to have Scott on. I miss you on Secret Friends Unite. I keep missing your voice on there, but yes, and also special guest Christine is joining us.
Yes, my wife is down here too because
We made her.
Yeah.
we decided what we were talking about, and we thought we'd harangue her into this shit show too.
Oh, yes.
Please not let it be the Venom eye thing from the Venom trailer. I've been seeing so many memes of that with the googly eyes.
I just can't wait for the shit that just takes Sony right off the cliff.
But the bad thing about it, it's going to make money. It's going to make all their money back.
I know, and you're just encouraging them. It's like giving a kid another sugary snack. Here you go, eat this. Eat a bag of sugar. It'll be fine.
Well, everybody just want to see how disastrous it's going to be. So
You're right. That's why people will see it. Unfortunately, that did not work for Solo. But it did work for The Last Jedi.
I still need to watch Solo. I don't know why. There's a lot of people who are changing their minds about that movie. They said they went back and watched it, and they be like, it's really not that bad.
Which movie?
Solo.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about The Last Jedi because I pulled a complete 180 on that. I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest. I know home video. Oh my God, this is a piece of shit. Oh my God. Prequels. They crammed the prequels into one movie.
Yeah, I got like 10 minutes into Last Jedi, and I'm just like, no, first 10 minutes was prank phone calls and your mom jokes.
Wow.
No Dick Whedon fart jokes. That was
Right.
Charlie has the blue milk scene on loop.
I do. First thing I watch, first thing in the morning. And I just go like, look, I go, "Arrgh."
Wake in blue milk. Not wake in bacon.
Can that please be the title of this episode?
Bacon blue milk.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, God.
Follows it up with green eggs and ham.
Mm-hmm. So we decided, since we've got some of the family from Secret Friends, we wanted to dip into the the bridge that crosses from the nerd realm over to the game realm. The likes of Marvel and Star Wars and even Star Trek. And a couple of us were talking earlier, a big bridge for that has been the Lego games, but noticeably absent from the Lego series. Why the fuck don't we have a Lego Star Trek game yet?
Licensing! My kingdom for licensing!
Wasn't it? No, there was no Star Trek stuff for Lego Dimension.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's Star Wars and everything else. Like, Star Trek was the odd one out.
Didn't Star Trek have an Atari game?
They've had games.
Yeah.
There was like a 25th anniversary game in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a Starship Creator in the probably mid 2000s.
Yeah, I know there was one for Sega 32X.
But wasn't most Star Trek games was on PC? I believe.
Yeah.
There were some later ones. I do remember there were one or two on the PS2 back when, including there was a Voyager one, if I remember correctly.
The Elite Force.
That's it.
Yeah. They made a comic out of it, and they had fancy outfits, and they were There's tough to do anything with Voyager. I know Voyager is a sore spot for a lot of people. My partner, Todd Axtra, calls it an affront to television. Which I think is maybe a little harsh, but my blinders are set to 180,000 watts when it comes to Star Trek. It really can do no wrong.
I know there's quite a few tabletop Star Trek games.
That there is.
Yeah, they have the Settlers of Catan. They have a nice one with that has my big beautiful Enterprise A on the front of it. I've seen that box in stores. I don't know anything about that game, but
doesn't matter. You can get it for a display piece.
Exactly.
Well, maybe before y'all leave, we could totally bust out a game of Catan.
Oh man,
you could at least get your hands on it and find out.
That would take a while.
So
it's been so long since I played Catan.
But yeah. But no, the Lego series, though, has been really good to most nerd culture, and it just seems so weird that it's left the one out in the cold. And granted, like Charlie said, licensing, more than likely, but you would think with as much power and clout as they have, they could fucking get on that shit.
Well, I think Star Wars makes them more money than Star Trek would. Star Trek it has a big fan base, but not a lot of kids. And because of me used to working in retail in that area, a lot of kids weren't buying Star Trek toys. It was more adults. Where Star Wars, of course, adults was buying it, but they were able to buy Star Wars for a kid as a gift, and the kid would recognize what it is. If you try to get a kid a Star Trek thing, they'd be like, "What the heck is this?" A lot of them
don't want to have Captain Picard trying to talk the aliens to death. Come on, surrender, okay?
Right.
And Star Wars can appeal to a much wider audience, if only because there's clear cut. These are the good guys. These are the bad guys. Star Trek. You don't really know because they switch sides all the time. Klingons used to be bad guys, now they're good guys. Romulans used to be bad guys, now they're good guys. Even the Borg.
Well, it seems like the power of TV versus film. Like Star Wars has always been known for the first 3 movies. And Star Trek has been known for, the original version, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, like a lot of those shows. And there's about 7 Star Trek series.
They're
9.
You talking about the movies or the series?
The TV series.
There have been 6 or 7.
I say 7 now with Discovery, isn't it?
Yeah, if you count the animated series, which it's not really canonical, frankly.
Right.
Gene Roddenberry himself kind of crapped on it. He was like, no.
Right.
And I think there's 9 movies from Star Trek and Star Trek Next Generation.
Yes, and then they did the 3 JJ movies, so there's 11.
Yeah, so technically there's 11. But
yeah.
But there's a huge, rich history. But even still, just touching on what they could have done or could do with bringing that into the Lego franchise, the 3 most recent Abrams Trek films lean fairly action heavy. Those could work. They've got some great action set pieces that would be way fucking fun to play with.
Well, they have that now. They did for PS4. I know the bridge commander. Yeah, with the helmet, with the hat and everything. And they, I don't own a video game system currently. I know, somebody throw garbage at me. But I've been dabbling with the potential of getting a PS4 because of the Lego games, I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll go back and revisit that. But the potential of that Bridge Creator deal and the VR helmet, of course, that's just more money to be spent. But that seems like it would be pretty sweet.
No, I had heard a couple months back that they were discontinuing the whole Lego Portal system.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Portal, yeah. But I mean, the actual Lego series, like you've got the Lego Incredibles and Indiana Jones.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The Lego Dimensions is
right.
the
Not outside of
the Lego games like the Harry Potter.
Exactly.
Jurassic World, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
tell me you couldn't see like all three of the Abrams movies packed together on a Lego, you know.
They did years 1 through 4 of Harry Potter, and then another one with
5 or so.
They make whole games out. They made a whole games out of the Force Awakens. They made a whole game out of the Avengers movies.
Yep.
Or just
Incredibles.
Right.
Just the Marvel Universe, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then
and DC.
Yeah.
DC Batman, and then DC Batman Villains,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think there's a third one for DC.
Yeah,
They need a Doctor Who one too.
Oh,
That'd be fantastic.
Oh my God, I want to play as a weeping angel.
Going around and
Them my boys right there.
Well, Mega Bloks could get the Star Trek license because in the past, like last year, they kind of revealed that they were working on a Halo game. And it was like halfway done and it looked really good. So if Mega Bloks could get Star Trek, I think it would sell. I mean, they got the Call of Duty and they got the Halo franchise. So why not give it to Mega Bloks?
Mega Bloks had Star Trek, or I don't know if they still do, but I know I've seen those sets around.
I don't.
Did they lose a license?
I think they may have.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's a whole different world. And Star Trek is weirdly divided. Paramount holds the film rights
between
and
film
CBS
and
has TV rights.
Yeah.
So how does that shake out? That's a tough part.
Yeah, that's been a bizarre mess, which is why it's taken so long for new films and series to come about.
Well, I think the TV series would probably sell more over the movies because, like for me, I haven't watched a lot of the Star Trek movies, but the J.J. Abrams one, when he first brought out that Star Trek, like the reboot, that one was really, really good, and I kind of think that's the best one. Definitely for the TV series, the Next Generation every Sunday night 9 p.m. I was on it. In our area, Channel 50. I used to tell my mom, "Hey, it's Star Trek time." We would get our popcorn, we would sit down, and we watched the whole series.
The Abrams stuff isn't a reboot; it's a parallel dimension.
It is. It's a side quest. Exactly correct.
Nico gave him a side quest.
Right.
Had that exclamation point. Ding.
I would think if there was going to be a Star Trek based game, if you're looking to reach people who are probably of our ilk or even younger, that the Next Generation would be the way to swing it, because the original series is now over 50 years old.
Yes.
See, people are my parents' age, who are in their 60s and 70s, buying video games because they love the original series. I would not see my father sitting and playing a video game. You know what I mean? Just intolerant of that shit. It's just, it ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to actually get the regular Star Trek and Next Generation, like even just on Blu-ray. Like, I would love to be like, let me watch the original version, because it was during the time when it was like on in the 80s. I would watch like the end part of it, because I would get off like from a nursery school, get home, watch a little bit of it, and then watch Gilligan's Island, and then watch the Batman show, TV show.
Batman 66.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, all of the as far as in HD, the original series is in HD. It's on disc, and of course, and the HD versions are on Netflix. There's an HD versions of all of Next Generation. Those are on disc. The HD versions are on Netflix, and I think the first 2 seasons are in HD on Hulu, but not the rest of it, which is really weird.
All the movies are in HD on Hulu.
Yeah. Oh, are they really?
I just watched them all a couple weeks ago.
I mean, but I, as a super fan, I have all that stuff on digital anyway, so can't help myself. It's a sickness when it comes to Star Trek with me.
I actually prefer, personally for me, I actually prefer Star Trek over Star Wars. I respect Star Wars, but like Star Trek, I might not know the deep history of it, but sitting down and watching it just captivate me, and I just end up watching it for like hours.
there's just a lot more to it than a simple struggle between good and evil. Because again, Planet of the Week and, we're going to save these people from dying, but should we? Or, what's their deal? Are they good? Are they bad? Is it
Can
a
we
gray
reveal
area?
ourselves to them because they're technologically unadvanced?
And if we
Right.
did, how can we undo that? That was a great,
How can we get around the Prime Directive?
Right.
Mhm. How many ways can we skirt the fucking rules?
Right. Well, that was Kirk more than Picard because Kirk was fuck it. I mean,
Yeah.
Kirk on 5 separate occasions in the original series talked a computer to death. Smoke started shooting out the side. I mean, he talked the M5 to death. He talked the Nomad probe to death. He was bad.
Every instance is a Kobayashi Maru for him.
Right. He says, "I like to lose,
Mhm.
So I won't.
so I won't."
So-
I'll
Exactly.
just
Right.
hack the system and change it.
Right.
Fuck the rules. They don't matter.
My way or the highway, motherfucker.
Now I need to watch.
That really, now that's got me thinking, like, I want to play a Star Trek game where that comes up and you're playing as Kirk and you eventually, like, manage to, as a mechanic of the game, get into the code
Hack
and
a game
fuck with it.
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say, you can pull a Deadpool. You put the Deadpool mask on. and say, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
All right.
I'm going
Jump
to
right out
hack
there.
the actual game. I know I'm in this game. Let's just change the game.
I want this now. This needs to happen. Someone, get on it.
Well, Ubisoft owns the license now, so you.
That's true.
Okay, so I'm going to be
Movie us
jealous.
up a damn game.
Right.
Movie it up.
I'm going to just.
Actually, buy a system.
I'm just going to be crazy and be like, look, BioWare needs the Star Trek series. Not saying to make it Mass Effect, but if they need to, go ahead. But BioWare knows, has ideas about sci-fi, and I think they could make a phenomenal Star Trek. If EA don't put their hands on it and let BioWare do whatever they want, I think they will make a raw Star Trek game.
EA or BioWare could do it.
Don't let EA anywhere near that. God, no.
Well, EA just could publish it, but they can't say nothing on how to develop.
No, if
Don't-
EA makes it, they're going to charge you for, like, a microtransaction for every photon torpedo.
Well, BioWare, I mean,
That's right.
So you're likening this EA to the Ferengi?
Pretty much.
Those are the rules of acquisition?
Yeah. Why give away for free what you can charge money for?
Right. It's the Quark's bar of video games.
Uh-huh.
So Larry, best video game idea ever. Star Trek and Stardew Valley crossover game
No.
called Starfleet Valley.
Oh,
No.
Starfleet Valley High.
you know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. I would buy that right now and pre-reserve a physical copy if it came to Switch. I would do that.
No, we do.
No, you're close to something, though.
Star
What we
Trek
need,
Valley
though,
High.
what we need is Stardew Valley meshed with Star Wars, and the whole thing takes place on the Blue Milk Farms.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow!
yeah.
Now that I would not buy.
Get naughty.
Star Milk Valley.
If you milk it, Luke will come.
Oh, the wheels are off.
There's the episode title right there.
If you milk it, Luke will come.
I smell a Lucasfilm lawsuit.
What's the
Wow.
sticky blue stuff?
The stickiest of the icky.
The stickiest of
I can see my Schwartz is bigger than yours.
Oh, I love Spaceballs. Oh,
No mas bueno.
And Charlie thought he couldn't hang.
I figured it out right away.
Oh, Jesus.
I love Spaceballs. That's now I want to watch that too. It's on Hulu
We
also.
found shit. You know that was too.
Classic. And Blazing Saddles.
Let's not talk about that.
Oh, that movie when they pulled out the clan members and beat them, and I was just like, and the black what's his name put out his partner, and he said, "Where the white women at?" I was just like,
Oh, boys. For my next impression, Jesse Owens.
The sheriff isn't.
He says the sheriff is near.
If you
No,
guys
bro,
have
you forgot
not
to
seen
brush your
Blazing
teeth after the
Saddles,
weekly
please go
crossword.
see that
Wah,
movie.
wah.
Uh,
Oh God.
What's your crime? Stampeding cattle. That's not much of a crime. Through the Vatican? Kinky!
Oh,
Oh,
Mel
God.
Brooks is just one of the best comedian writers and like creators, spoof movies. It's just sometimes for me, whatever he touches, it's just fall out hilarious.
You know, and he's still with us, but we've not seen anything from him in decades, it seems. What was the last time thing he gave us? Robin Hood Men in Tights? That was 25 years ago.
Producers.
Oh, that was him? I mean, the remake.
I believe so.
Ah.
Fuck, I know he was in it.
Oh, but I mean, even that was 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not dead.
Yep.
So, I mean, come on. Retirement my ass.
Now,
Get to work.
To be fair, and I'm going to dabble into something I try and stay away from these days, but it's almost inevitable given. Look at the content that he's put out. God, especially. It's kind of throughout all of his stuff, but especially Blazing Saddles. Consider his brand of humor. You realize how well that would go over today? About like a fucking lead balloon.
Oh, my God. Well, that film, Blazing Saddles, was mostly penned by Richard Pryor. Need I say more? One of the most controversial comedians who has ever lived.
Right, granted, but you try and do that today, and it's immediate crucifixion.
Oh, you bet. The snowflakes would be melting.
Uh-huh.
Mel Brooks was able to do physical comedy and visual comedy just perfect, and so you would catch the sarcasm if you paid attention. Just be like, that might seem offensive, but yet that's funny.
Like Mongo punching the horse.
Yes. In the one woman, how she's singing on the stage and she just sound dead, like she's the hottest woman, but she just to be loved. And it's like
Eddie actually nailed that.
I mean, she is literally just it works so well because you think she's supposed to be the hottest woman who has a great voice and she's a singer and she's this starlight, and she's just like, don't really feel like doing this. All you short men are boring. And then she sees a black man and it's just like, ooh.
Ooh, a wed woes. How romantic.
A single wed was.
How she's tired.
And fed up and kaput.
Tex, ma'am, get your feet off the friggin' stage.
Now the one part that might be controversial is with the dancers, the gay dancers, and the director goes on to be like, "Look, you faggots,
Yeah.
get it together."
Watch me, faggots. Dun, 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 dun. And then he goes, yes. He goes, it sounds like steam escaping.
You sissies. Oh, it's offensive, but it's literally so funny. You just watch
I
at
have
it.
a gay uncle, and he recited that scene to me. So if that's not universally funny, I don't know what is.
I don't know. I almost died laughing at the wedding when Eddie was talking, and my buddy Josh looks at him and goes, "Hey, back of the bus, Rosa."
Oh, shit!
And the funny thing about it was I went to the back.
I told Eddie too. I'm
He
like,
knew his place.
Oh!
oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
I told Eddie though what I wanted was a big, and I'm sure somebody's fucking got it, and I've just not seen it, but I wanted a big fucking shot of the entire wedding party, all the way across, because I wanted to put the caption on there. One of these things is not like the other.
Ah!
I think it's because it was
Cucumber?
so it's a whole bunch of white people, and I think I'm the only black person that's at the end of it. So everybody so all you just see all these white people, and then you like, wait, what the world is that? It's just me like,
Woo! Good Lord.
Oh God,
Got to get the South Park reference.
always a good call.
My goodness.
But reining it back in just slightly, though.
Sorry.
We're still a video game podcast somewhere, I swear.
Dig deep. Well, Blazing Saddles, the video game.
I need that.
I'm not gonna lie. I have thoughts on that. Like, I'm inclined to say that somebody can make that work. In like,
Well,
we had
I take it
Blazing
back.
Saddles Princess Bride crossover mashup game.
No, here's what I'm feeling. I want
Knights and Cowboys.
I want the guys that did Duck Amuck on the original DS, which was the based off of the Looney Tunes episode Duck Amuck, where it's Daffy getting fucked with by the guy, the actual like cartoonist.
Oh,
Yeah,
coming in.
yeah, that. They did a fantastic game based around that episode on the original DS, and I'm inclined to say that if we could just harangue a bunch of Mel Brooks material, my gut tells me this would be a suitable fit. Like, I would play that. It would just be tons of quirky little mini games that all end in just phenomenal fucking Mel
Racist
Brooks
jokes.
punchlines. Yeah.
But in all honesty, I think Jewish people are the ones that really got like the butt of the jokes in Mel Brooks movies, because him being Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's probably the only saving grace at this point for Mel Brooks films that they haven't landed in the crosshairs yet, is that he pokes as much fun at himself and the Jewish community as he does everybody else.
It's a set of armor for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I am this, so I can do it.
Right.
It could be
So-
like that insult game you were playing.
Oh God, yes. So I'm going to divert for just a minute off the nerd path and just straight into games for a minute. But a couple nights ago, Christine and I were laying in bed, and I had picked up months ago for like $2 on the eShop channel for my Switch this game called Oh Sir, and it's an insult fighter where you sit there and you take turns. Yeah, you take turns building an insult, and most of it's pretty fucking nonsensical. Like
It was like Mad Libs.
pretty fucking much.
Yeah.
Like, take Street Fighter and mesh with Mad Libs, and you get Oh Sir.
You just jump in with your mouth.
Yeah,
Yes.
What that mouth do?
like the more insults you string together, the more damage you fucking do. And if you can find somebody's like sore spot subject, you do extra damage. And it's fucking terrible, but I couldn't stop laughing because it's so suitably awful.
Weak against Jew jokes.
Right?
Fatality.
Oh, no.
No, you get that great voice from finish him, and then you just hear
And then a killer
snap.
pops up.
Nope, you
and
just hear
burns alive.
snap.
Oh,
There, Charlie caught it finally.
that's as cold as ice.
Just a little off the tip.
Right.
Just see how it
Just
feels.
the tip.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, that's not okay. Wait.
Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
Wow.
Oh, that never works out for anybody. Well, maybe somebody.
Right.
Maybe one somebody.
Yeah, the person who's offering.
Thank you. Thank you for following the end of the treasure map.
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't sure where we were going with that.
Well, you know,
Here's your pot of gold. Oh shit. But
Mr. Obvious.
aside
Captain Obvious to you.
Oh, I got an upgrade. All right.
Ooh, all right.
aside from Star Trek, though, some of the other nerd staples have fared way better in gaming. Though, I mean, Star Wars has gotten a lot of love via not only the Lego games of most recent, but you throw back to some of the they were some of like the first big licensed properties going all the way back to fucking Atari.
Knights of Old Republic.
That too.
Introduced directly.
I mean, it's
Wasn't the old Atari one that didn't they do the Battle of Hoth and you would go up and down and it would be like like Donkey Kong, or Donkey Kong in space?
pretty much, yeah.
Thought it was more like Joust.
Joust.
Remember Joust? Pay me money for reminding you that Joust is a thing.
Shoot. I'll even go further than that.
Joust and semi-floating ostriches.
That's about right, yeah.
Shoot,
But-
I remember White Castle used to have a game for the Atari.
Yeah, they did.
White? Did you say White Castle?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the burger,
burger
joint?
joint.
Yeah.
Cross promotion into the depths.
McDonald's had one too.
Oh yeah, the MC kids.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
7-Up did too. They had a couple actually.
that's why Burger Time burned in flames.
Burger Time was better though.
I'm sure it was, but it wasn't McDonald's.
Got to get that mayo.
Synergy, all the parts.
I was say, don't forget the Burger King games. The Sneak King.
Oh goodness, that game was
That sounds like some kind of a sex crime.
Wendy's
It was pretty much was.
CD, and it was basically hentai.
Oh God.
Oh.
But no, I mean, Star Wars though ended up with some of the most iconic games out there, including the trilogy arcade game it's still fucking fantastic if you can find one to play. Actually, I think, remind me next time you're here, Eddie, we're going to fucking Mega Play.
Doesn't
Because
have it anymore.
Really? When did they get rid of it?
They have because my son liked to play it. It was the riding on the land speeder thing.
No.
You're talking about the classic arcade one.
Yeah, where it was like
It was right next
you were
to
playing. You were playing three different scenes. One was the Death Star trench, and oh God, what
Yeah, it
the
was
hell
right
were
next to Michael Jackson Moonwalker for a while.
Okay.
I didn't see it last time I was there, and I was there about a month ago.
No lie though, their episode 1 Phantom Menace pinball game was actually pretty fucking cool.
Was it?
Yeah,
I never
that's.
got over
I
the
think
pinball.
that's still there. I love going over to Mega Play just because they have an entire wall at the back of the building that's
Arcade.
nothing but fucking pinball machines, and it's
they have
awesome.
that too.
Love me some good
They
pinball.
do have at least they did last time I was there. They had an episode 1 Phantom Menace pinball machine that was really fucking cool because it was one of those that had the
You killed Jar Jar.
the monitor over the glass,
Over.
and so you're getting the reflection of the monitor on the glass over the table, so it's overlaying shit from the movie onto the table. And it's really fucking neat the way it plays together.
Do they have the Pac-Man pinball game?
I think they do. I know they've got the Super Mario World one.
Oh, I love the Pac-Man one. You get to play Pac-Man, and then it breaks down into a pinball game, and then you'll play pinball, switches back to Pac-Man. Oh, love that.
Well, that sounds
My
fantastic.
God, that sounds fantastic. Who doesn't
Yeah.
love Pac-Man? I mean, even someone like me could enjoy Pac-Man.
Fuck yeah.
First
Yeah.
transgender character ever.
Oh,
Juice determined Pac-Man's gender. Triggered.
I did.
look, I used to watch the cartoon of Pac-Man, and I used to eat the SpaghettiOs of Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man's the greatest prostitute ever. For a quarter, she'll gobble balls all night long.
All
Right.
the balls.
Oh,
She
God.
even gave those ghosts blue balls and then ate them. Or
She knows what she's about.
That's right.
I'm not a whore. I'm a dancer.
Just to
I'm a
let,
dancer.
just
She's
to let,
just putting herself through college.
Grad school.
Grad school. Going for that PhD.
just to let everybody
First
know,
one in the family.
PH dick.
Granted,
this
she made enough money to fucking make her way through school, though.
this episode is for adults only. Adult gamer nerds and
That's
comic
every
book players
episode,
only.
Eddie. There's not like an extra option I can click when I'm uploading this that says like AO. It just says explicit content. There's no more
Look,
modifier.
some kid gonna click on and be like, what is blue milk and why is it being milk for? What?
Why is Miss Pac-Man such a whore? Mr. Pac-Man.
Because
Ms.
Pac-Man was too small.
Wow.
No.
Waka, 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 waka.
No, Mr. Pac-Man was big because Pac-Man Jr. came about from that. And he had a large stage.
Uh-huh.
I know, but who knows who his daddy was? All the balls she was eating.
Well, that is true.
They were both eating cherries, so
That's going to be the greatest episode of Springer that ever was.
Yeah, right.
Look, Jerry Springer is a show. Back in the 90s,
You are not the father.
in the 90s, Jerry Springer was the show.
Dude, no lie, the greatest Christmas card I've ever seen had a picture of Mary and Joseph and little baby Jesus, and Maury was in the background, like transparent, and it says, "Joseph, you are not the father. Maury Christmas."
Wow.
Here's Joseph.
Let's see, we've covered racism, explicit language.
Can you imagine how hard raising that child was going to be?
Now we're
Growing
going to
up, he's like, "Go to bed. You're not my real dad."
Yeah,
I'm not listening to you.
there's a Family Guy. Then he calls Dad up. Well, Dad, I just think it would be really better if I would come live with you. Well, gosh, buddy, Karen and I are going out of town this weekend.
How hath thou forsaken me?
Oh my God. This is a video game podcast, right? So,
Well, it was.
Are you still surprised?
I mean, it still is.
blue milk, blue balls. There you go.
Larry, to be fair, on Podtoid, probably 95% of the podcast was not about video games.
Yeah, most of it devolved into violating poor Jonathan Holmes.
Ouch. Johnny Watt?
Though I miss Holmes. We still occasionally chat a little bit, but Holmes is probably one of the coolest motherfuckers ever. And if you guys haven't, you really should go check out his work. He does fucking great stuff with Jim Sterling and Conrad Zimmerman, who was also kind enough to join us last year. But in any case, we're going to try it again, railing it back a little.
Back, Sheba, back. I feel like I got a chair and a bullwhip.
Wow.
A chair and a starter pistol.
So, well, before we go on, Charlie, can you tell us about Super Friends Unite so our listeners who are just hearing about you guys, what your podcast is about?
Would I love to? Well, Secret Friends Unite is a labor of love that was put together by me and my best friend and my college roommate, Todd Oxtra.
Who wouldn't show the fuck up?
Yeah, well, he's
Lame
lazy.
curfew bullshit.
He needs his beauty rest because he's a little fella. Anyway, he and I have been best friends since Michigan State 25 years ago. He went into the Air Force. He ended up in Minneapolis. I live in Michigan, which is where we're both from. And the podcast was born. It'll be 4 years in next month. Out of just a desire to see each other every week. And it was I believe the Facebook group probably preceded it almost immediately and has now grown to we're pushing 1,000 members. So we're very excited about that. And it's just an opportunity to talk geek. We talk geek every week, but we share and we go back and forth on the group and just have fun. Share news, share opinions, just have a good time. And we've had Eddie, you've been on with us. I'm sure you have.
Not yet. I haven't been on. No, I posted that I want to go on the show and watch a bad comic book movie or anything with you and Todd, but I want you and Todd and Scott, you're able to join too. I want you guys to come on and watch Punisher Warzone with me, and we do straight commentary.
It's too dangerous for me, bro. You got to come here.
Yeah, right.
We still need to do a viewing of Double Dragon.
Oh goodness, I cannot survive that movie.
Saw that movie?
I actually watched that movie.
Fun fact, that movie managed to put Andy Dick and Vanna White on the screen at the same time.
I like the Mario.
That's magic.
And it has the chairman from Iron Chef America.
Or if you want to refer to him as on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, God. Yeah, he was on that, too.
Yep.
He was the telekinetic.
Andy Dick was?
No.
He was also in Double Dragon.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he was the telekinetic asshole in like season 3, 4.
Telekinetic asshole. There's something I don't want to picture.
I can strangle you with my rectum.
There's people that pay good money for that in Chicago.
I'm an hour away from
That whole
Chicago.
establishment's centered around attractions like that in Taiwan.
Wow. I'm an hour away from Chicago.
Playing ball rod again.
Yeah, but no, I haven't been on SFU yet, but I would love to come on and hang out with you guys and talk.
just to talk about Punisher War Journal. I think it could be or Punisher War Zone. You just be a whole episode. Ray Stevenson snapping heads off, and was that the one with John Travolta, or was that the other one?
That was the other one. That was with Thomas Jane.
That was Come On and Start Dancing.
Todd has his video game when you're not there sometimes, and we know Todd doesn't like the Punisher, so you get him to come on when Todd can't come on, and you can talk about the Punisher.
Oh my goodness! Or if you really want to hear upside, get Todd trying to define how Aquaman is going to be the thing that turns the DCU around.
Oh my God, it will!
It's not possible.
Hold on.
It will. I've loved
Was
every
it-
DC.
Charlie, didn't you post something about that?
Movies.
Did you post something about that in the SFU page about Aquaman?
It was on the week before.
It was on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Yes, exactly. we had our friend Marjorie on. She was guest hosting, and she and I were. It was the SDCC wrap up.
Yeah.
And of course, that's when that trailer dropped. And she and I were just savaging it. And Todd got, and this was in the pre-roll, on a fucking tear about, well, Marvel movies are all the same, and they're not going to do, and DC could really do something. I'm like, dude, DC movies are awful. Marvel movies are like fucking, they're like fucking pizza. People will eat them, and people will like them.
Yes.
So,
but
well,
the
they're not
difference
really
is-
going to do anything different or
difference
win
is-
any Oscars. And I'm like, is Aquaman going to win a fucking Oscar?
The difference is DCU movies are all meat pizza. Marvel movies are Hawaiian.
I think it's the other
No
way around.
pineapple on pizza.
DCU movies are all anchovy pizza.
Well,
So
it's-
here's my standing theory. DC Universe works, but not in film, just in like TV series.
Anime.
That's where DC
Well,
shines.
they shine in
show,
the
not its
animated movies are good. Their
Oh, yeah.
animated good
Yeah,
movies
they
are really good.
But Marvel tried to copy Green Arrow with Iron Fist.
They did, and
It's
it was not good.
But to tell you the truth,
See,
Iron
I still
Fist
don't
is
think
the
Iron
only
Fist was as
Marvel
insufferable as
Netflix
everybody
that I like.
seems to think it was. I enjoyed Iron Fist.
that was the only one. I should have liked Jessica Jones because David Tennant was in it.
Jessica
Right.
Jones, I loved.
Totally. She's a
I couldn't get
badass.
past the third episode.
Well,
Really?
Jessica Jones felt kind of weird because I thought the premise was it was going to be more of a detective show. Like 13 episodes of her solving different cases of like kind of like of the supernatural, but it felt something different. And I guess for just me looking at the previews, it's just like, hold on, thought she was supposed to be a detective, like finding stuff. I thought it was going to be something like that, and it wasn't. So that's what kind
No,
of
she works as a private investigator.
Right.
She's looking for clues.
Yeah, right. She's the whole Scooby-Doo gang.
No, the Blue's Clues guys.
Oh, there you go. or
She's
like
looking for clues.
or like Dora.
No,
She's
Blue milk
Dora.
clues?
Dora's already been deported.
Were we looking for
Ouch.
blue milk clues?
Yes. And then Luke showed up, and there's this whole thing.
And then the music started. Where chicka, where.
then-
Oh,
And then he came, and we were done.
oh, it was dirty.
No, it's the
And
wow
Luke
chicka
was
wow wow
spent.
music, except
Luke's
all the
money
wows
shot
are
and
lightsaber sound effects.
Luke was spent after that.
Oh.
But I think the DC. I like the DC universe movies, and I like the Marvel movies. And I feel like sometimes what DC miss, Marvel gets, and sometimes the movies that Marvel get, DC gets right. Sometimes, because when I think it was Batman versus Superman, I think that came out around the same time or in that year. Captain America 3: Civil War came out.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah.
Okay, so it kind of felt like some of the stuff in Civil War that was missing, I found in the Batman versus Superman, and then stuff that was missing in Batman versus Superman was in Civil War. Like,
I was gonna. You found the entire plot of a movie that was missing out of Batman versus Superman, and a different.
well,
Martha. Okay, I rest.
no, well,
think
actually,
he's-
well, because my thing was with Batman versus Superman, it was missing the choreograph, the action scenes, the fight scenes, and Civil War did a great job with the fight scenes. But I think some of the characters
The
and
one
some
fight
of
scene
I
in
mean-
the parking lot.
I think some of the characters and the pacing in DC was good versus some of the characters and the pacing in Civil War. Civil War for some reason just felt rushed and like some stuff just didn't feel like it connected. So I mean that's why I said that's just for me. That some of the stuff that was missing from each other's movie, you found it there. So but I ended up enjoying Batman vs
So if you
Superman.
put them together, you get a whole movie.
Pretty much, in a sense.
With two Marthas.
The thing I think DC got wrong in their movie universe is the fact that they rushed 2 movies in and went for the team movie.
Right.
They didn't spend enough time building.
There was
up
not.
Right.
There was not
It was
sufficient
slow
establishment.
They went with pre-established characters and made people rely on it, and then changed their stories altogether.
Right.
Had Superman kill, had Batman using guns, all that kind of stuff.
They put the Justice League together with a string of JPEGs.
And then you have,
We solved it with email.
then you have a fantastic performance from Ezra Miller as Flash, but you're like, where the hell did he come from?
The JPEG.
From the 3
J-
second
the
cameo.
The
in
JL
Batman v
was
Superman?
the JPEG. That's what it was. That's where.
And
it came
everybody,
from.
even my wife's drooling over Aquaman because it's fucking Jason Momoa.
Wow. Well, is any of you guys gonna watch the Spawn movie, the reboot?
What?
Spawn, the reboot movie. Are you guys even going to be planning to
Oh,
watch that?
Spawn?
Yeah.
Oh, Spawn with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they did such great things, and they made Spider-Man too.
Well, I like the original Spawn movie, but
With Michael J. John
was-
Wright.
Michael
but
Jai
that-
White, right?
That was a whole different time period.
Yeah. Well,
Now, I don't even. I mean, Spawn's still around, but he doesn't really have the name recognition anymore.
his animated series was good on HBO. That one was
yeah,
pretty good.
It was. I kind of hope that they go with the hard R. Or
Hard
maybe,
R.
maybe even NC-17, because that character, just with all the stuff that he goes on with Malbolgia and everything,
Yeah.
they need to go hardcore.
Back to the blue.
They need to
belt.
show some titties too. Some women just suffering in hell.
Just a titty.
Yeah,
a titty.
Yeah, just
Single
A
titty.
titty,
one.
perfect.
You know,
It's not even attached to anybody. It's just
And at-
there.
and at
It's a titty on a stick with CGI.
At the bottom for hearing impaired, it just says gratuitous titty.
you know what?
Titty noises in parentheses.
Yes.
If they have the directors of Crank 1 or 2 making the Spawn movie, I think it would be so bonkers that it would be good. I don't have faith in this reboot.
One of those things where it's so bad it loops around and is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I could go for that.
So it'll do like a 760
So
turn.
they need to go hard R and incredibly campy,
Yes.
like
and the single titty.
like Jason X when he goes into space and starts putting the chick in the sleeping bag, just whapping her on the tree.
in space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you never seen Jason X?
I have, but
Oh my god, and it was so awesome.
well,
It's one of those ones
why
that
would
loop
something
back around
be in a sleeping bag in
because
space.
because it was basically one of those holographic things, and Jason doesn't know that they're holograms, but they're hard light holograms. So he goes in there, and they're like nubile, and they're like stripping and gonna make out and everything. And
Which is how I prefer
so
my
he
holograms.
seals one of them in a sleeping bag and just starts beating the other one with it, and then starts whapping her against a tree.
He's got a lot of aggression towards holograms.
No, it's the whole
that's-
sex thing.
Oh, right, okay. With holograms.
Yes.
Which is all anyone would ever use a holodeck for in Star Trek, let's face
Well,
it.
yeah.
You go in there and
would-
lock the door and never leave.
Well, that was
Die
hard.
of dehydration.
That was hard light too, wasn't it? You can interact with your environment.
Yeah, you bet. Hard light.
So was
Hard.
Rimmer.
Do they got
Right.
the taste down too, though?
Oh.
Does pussy taste like pussy?
So
he's
I
just
knew.
like, where is this going?
What?
We can edit it out in post.
Yes, it's
We
all
don't do
code.
no
You
kind of
getting out
editing in this shit. Look, Larry, I'm like this.
It's a live long day.
Look, look, Larry, do we do any editing on the show besides like connect them when there's breaks?
maybe a touch, but not much.
Edit out the dead air.
Not even that.
Not even
usually,
that.
To be honest.
Nice.
Fuck it, we do it live.
Always keep them guessing.
We do it live.
So every one of your podcasts is a bootleg.
Just about, yeah.
Nice.
So here's a question I want to kind of throw your way, Charlie, since
All right.
we're kind of on the harp on Marvel and DC movies. What's happened over the last handful of years that, because when the Marvel Cinematic Universe started out, it was really kind of in the heyday of the licensed video game property, and there was a good handful of the Marvel films that got their own standalone games, but it seemed to fade away. But as those faded away, the DC property started to pick it up, especially with the likes of the Batman Arkham series.
Oh yeah.
What do you think that Marvel just kind of resigned itself to fuck it? We can just exist in the Lego universe, and that's good enough.
I mean,
all of their games were so hard.
The Lego games?
No, the Marvel games.
Like which ones?
Like the old school Super NES Wolverine one. You ever play that one?
No,
my God, you can barely get past the second level.
Wow. Well, that
Fucking true story.
The Spider-Man one on Sega, again, can't get past the third level.
I remember that game. That was early 90s.
Yeah.
I played that one a little bit.
Oh my
Did
God.
I say
They made
Sinister
them
Six?
yes.
Yeah.
They were so difficult that nobody... You end up
To be
finding them
fair,
in the
so was like
50s.
every game that was like the Super Star Wars games, though.
Buenas Blanc.
But it wasn't
what,
until
though?
That game.
it wasn't
Yeah.
until Konami did the X-Men arcade game that
was good.
That was
X-
like-
that
Play as Death.
well yeah.
Light it up,
Dazzler.
bitches.
The original Disco Biscuit of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
That's how that character came to be. She
Yeah.
was a disco performer.
Yep. And
it had
and
yeah.
she was actually created to help promote a disco album
Right.
Oh,
that
shit.
never actually came out.
Ah! Right.
Just like her movie never actually came out.
Right. It was all part of there's a movie poster and everything. Yeah, I remember that.
And then they spun it and made Dazzler the movie miniseries, and it just basically made fun of the whole fact that the movie never happened.
Yeah. But well, I know when it comes to video games with the Marvel versus DC, I think DC holds more weight. A lot of people like their games than Marvel because definitely, like I mentioned, the X-Men game, Marvel versus Capcom. Marvel versus Capcom 2, like that stuff is still popular. Where DC had like Batman from Sunsoft, from the movie on NES. Like if you listen to that soundtrack is really good. Batman Arkham was kind of good. Batman Returns for Super Nintendo by Konami was okay too. Even the Batman versus Robin on the Sega Genesis from the cartoon, that one was good. But you're not going to be talking about the Justice League fighting game that came out for Super Nintendo or Genesis that Acclaim did. No one's going to be talking about that. The
Is that a
N64,
real game?
huh? Yeah,
Is that a real game?
yeah. Justice League had a fighting game for Super Nintendo Justice and Sega Genesis.
Holy shit.
You're not going to talk about the Superman 64 for Nintendo 64 because that was complete garbage. So
Didn't it have the same graphics as they had in Superman 3 when he was fighting his way to Richard Pryor. Lady. That was the shit.
The little square super.
No, that would have been an improvement.
Yeah, right. That movie was the bomb. That thing at the end of that movie where the machine grabs a lady and robots it, that fucked me up as a kid. That really terrified me.
Not Richard Pryor?
Oh, never Richard Pryor.
Oh, he's a saint.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
We need to speed him up. Get the Pope in on this shit.
Yeah. Actually, Saint
if any-
Richard of the N-word.
There's
I don't think
another
so.
episode
If-
title right there. We got to get the
any
Pope in
Pope-
on this shit.
If any Pope would do it, it's the one we have now.
True story.
Oh boy.
but
Yeah.
but a lot of
But
people
no, I mean, like I said though, there was at least one that I can think of right off the top of my head. I know there was a couple of games about 10 years ago now. Just like I said, just as the MCU was being born with Iron Man and the Hulk, they were getting games, and then they just kind of stopped all of a sudden. And I know, licensed games always got a bad rap, but to be fair, at the very least, the Hulk game was actually fucking fun. It did exactly what it said on the tin. You got to run around and fucking rip cars apart and use them as fucking boxing gloves and just beat the hell out of everything. And it was awesome. I'm like, why couldn't we get more of that shit?
That was more fun than the movie, most people would say.
I think
See, I liked the Ed Norton Hulk movie.
I liked him fine too. Everybody bitches about it. They put it at the bottom of their list, but I'm like,
nah,
That's
it's towards
fucking-
the middle of mine.
yeah.
Yeah. and not only that, but like I said, I thought Ed played a fucking fantastic Banner.
The only reason he's towards the middle is because I know I'll never get a sequel with him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's licensing. It's Universal.
No, it's because Ed Norton wanted too much hands on it.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no,
that
I
too.
meant the Hulk in general.
Oh, yeah.
Hulk in
Also.
general.
Well, he's also owned by Universal, isn't he? Hulk? The Hulk?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, he's a
Oh,
third
yeah, that's right.
party between Sony, Fox, which
Ouch.
is going away,
Right.
and Universal owns Hulk. So he can only be in compilation
In the
movies. He
divorce
can't
agreement,
be.
they only get him on every third Saturday.
Oh, no, but didn't that contract end when Disney bought Marvel? Because Disney is doing the Marvel movies, and it has the Hulk in it. So
When Marvel went through their bankruptcy, they started selling off their movie rights to
Right.
certain properties. That's how Fox ended up with
X-Men, Fantastic
X-Men,
Four,
Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. Well, Deadpool falls under the X-Men banner.
and
but
ancillary characters.
And
So
yes.
they got Spider-Man and
the only reason that they got Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch for the Avengers is because they had originally started in the Avengers. They didn't show up in the X-Men until the first Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
I think it was the other way around. Are you sure? Because they joined the Avengers.
Well,
about it. They were the Camp Skookie Quartet issue 16.
Yeah, there was some sort of wonky thing where
And I think
where they showed up first
Oh,
someplace else, and so they didn't fall officially under the X banner, even though they're mutants. But they also explained them away as not being mutants
when
in the
Right.
Avengers
when
movies.
nerds become lawyers and lawyers
Because
become nerds.
they could never use the word mutant in their MCU movies.
Right.
Yeah.
They can
It
now.
was the age of miracles.
Right.
But then in the comics, they retconned them so they're not even mutants anymore. Then they made them Inhumans. Now they realize the Inhumans took big shit. Now
Inhumans
nobody
suck.
wants them to be Inhumans anymore. Oh my god.
Nobody wants to be an Inhuman because they suck.
Oh, I didn't even make it past the first hour of the 2-hour season premiere of
I
Inhumans.
didn't even watch it because they were trying to usurp the power of the X-Men.
Never.
Boycott right off the bat.
Never.
Yeah, I'm a snowflake. What about it?
He did. He cried.
Fight me.
He cried and pissed his pants. It was terrible.
wow.
I did. I haven't watched him yet either.
You
we
can
all
smell
noticed.
it. You can smell it. He pooped the bed or his pants, whatever.
My wife was pissed that day.
Oh, thanks, folks. It's here all week. Try the meal.
I'm here all the time. I live here.
Oh boy.
Not in this house. Down the street.
So, well, but before we get a little long in the tooth here, this is probably a good place to close it down, as it's getting a little on the late side here.
What?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Fuck me running, but
Well, he's the one who has to get up early.
Work.
lame.
Lame.
So, a big, huge, tremendous thank you to Charlie and Scott and Christine for all coming into our circus of stupid.
Oh, the ballet? You thought you were going to see the bear in the little car too?
So, always much love to the Secret Friends Unite crew. You throw back a couple years, actually, and I stopped in at one point, and every now and then Todd and I try and figure out a time to make it happen again, and it still hasn't. But yeah, to wrap, I know we did a little bit of it, but Charlie, Scott, pimp your shit.
Well, it's funny how Scott has somehow become part of my organization.
Right.
But no,
By proxy, how about that?
why not? No, the Secret Friends Unite Facebook community is our biggest face. We're there on the facial book. We do have a podcast page as well, which really mirrors it. You can find our podcast on all the most popular podcasting services these kids love these days. iTunes, and that's the one I can think of.
Google
Podomatic.
Play, Google Play Music.
Yeah, that one. We do have a hotline. Let me see if I can remember the number. No, I don't remember the number. But we're over on Twitter at Secret Friends U. Hit us up over there. We do also have a mailbag, secretfriendsunite@gmail.com. If you like to talk long form, write us in. Tell us what you think about the show. Tell us what you're geeking out about. Call us a bunch of fucking assholes. Whatever it is, we're really excited to read it. no matter what it says. So, yeah, but we publish every Friday. It's often Todd and I, but our hotline, I can't remember the number, is a great source to call in and check the podcast page for it, but I don't have it in front of me.
876-5309.
Yeah, that's right. For a good time call. What? That's some white people shit right there. Don't worry about that.
Just call Jenny.
Yeah, just call Jenny. Is a great way to call in.
I know who's Jenny.
You don't know this song?
Never mind. Look up Tommy Two Tone. He's the whitest guy who ever lived.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, somebody got a Whopper.
Ooh, the
Big
king.
Mac.
I got a Big Mac.
Not the king.
Big Mac.
Okay,
That's
who
not
remember
the
the
Big
McDonald's toys and who wish they came back?
Has that been sitting there for the last hour?
Lift
They
the
probably-
bun. Lift the bun. Make sure you have extra special
Oh,
sauce.
good deal. So here's the hotline. This is our audition mechanism. You want to check us out if you want to give us a buzz at 872-225-2496. It's a 3-minute limit. 872-225-2496. Leave us a message. Let us know what you're geeking out about and what you think about the show. We'll play it on the show, and then you're in the guest host lottery for possibly being on the program with us. So yeah, give us a buzz. And thanks for having me, you guys, the givers and the takers. Oh, I'm sorry, Eddie.
Oh, no. Eddie takes it.
Black joke.
He takes it.
I takes it.
Oh, he takes it. I'm going to say
It's
it.
black in it.
Oh, it's because I'm white, isn't it?
Yes.
So you know what I'm thinking here, Charlie, is once I get this wrapped up and edited, I should send it over to you guys, and you can stuff it on your SFU feed, too.
I'll tell you where to stuff
It's
it.
it's the official crossover episode. It belongs in both series canonically.
Ooh,
Can we do the sign off and I'll do Todd's sign?
oh, okay, sure.
I started, don't I?
No, I say, friends, thank you for joining us. I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring, and to keep on trucking
Be the villain, not the hero.
in a truck.
Yeah, I flipped it because I'm that way.
That did not work, but
No,
okay.
It was worth a shot, though.
Well, shit. Everybody, thank you for tuning back in. This has been World 1-1 Podcast and the Secret Friends Unite crossover episode. As always, you can catch us on our home at shoutengine.com, iTunes, Google Play Music, and a handful of other fucking places. Check out the Facebook page. I'm still rebuilding the disaster that is the YouTube page and the Twitch channel, but it's starting to come together. But once it's done, we'll have a big announcement party and all that fun shit, so you guys can check all that out. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Woo!
Goodness. Right. I'm about to say something and something flew in my mouth.
What?
You got that recorded, right?
It was a blue milk.
Oh, that's so going in a pre-roll.
And that's always, everybody. We will see you next time on World 1-1 Podcast. Bye.
Bye.